a nice intimate group this morning.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Congregation of Guelph. Brian, Mark, and I will be your service leaders today. And thank you for joining us. At UCG, we consciously strive to create a safe, compassionate, and supportive environment where everyone is valued, respected, and feels at home. We welcome all who come in search of truth and meaning, no matter your age, gender identity, sexual orientation, ability, background, or the color of your skin. At UCG, we believe that our diversity and respect for each other's individuality and inherent self-worth make our community strong. We travel, learn, and grow together. If you are new to UCG, we encourage you to check us out a few times. We are a lay-led congregation and each service is unique. I've asked Marguerite to light the chalice. Did you want the script or?
No. That's the, yeah. Okay. In this flame, we witness the power of transformation.
On again by the wonder of life, we are grateful to be vital to this living universe and inspire our community.
I'm going to have to ask the board to make an investment in a new camera because it hardly stays afloat during the series. Doesn't want to.
It's true.
I'm not sure if it will work. You guys carry on, we'll try to get it back to life.
Do you want a hand?
No, I'll be fine, I'll just try to
Okay.
get a little bit more wax out of there. Otherwise
So
I'll
there's that.
extinguish.
Thank you, Wendy.
This
Hey,
might work
beautiful.
better, this might work better, yeah.
Morning, Ed. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yay!
Morning,
Hey, good morning.
No, it's coming. That's okay, you'll know. She's coming.
Yeah, a spiritual flame is hard to light, but it's worth it. Okay.
That's a great metaphor. Okay, as we gather, we're reminded that Guelph is situated on land steeped in rich indigenous history and currently home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. Today we acknowledge the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation on whose traditional territory we're meeting. Let us be grateful to the many generations who have come before us as we strive to walk together on a path of mutual respect and support. May the decisions we make and the activities we pursue be inclusive and mindful of the many generations yet to come.
Our opening words are by Laura Horton Ludwig. The wheel of the year has turned again. Once more, the Thanksgiving season has arrived. How shall we sing our song of gratitude now? For what shall we give thanks? For this moment, for friends near and far, for our breath, for love, for courage and clarity, for strength, for delight, for laughter, for beauty, for the tables round which we gather, for the food we enjoy with friends, seasoned with love and memory, for the sun and moon and stars in the sky, for the trees who have seen so much and still stand proud, stretching themselves to the sky, for the bright voices of children, for the wisdom of elders, for actions that bless the world, for hard work that makes a difference, for music and art and celebration, for generosity, for compassion, for endurance, for joy, for hope. For all these things, we give thanks as we worship together. And now we're going to enjoy a piece of music.
Enjoy collectively.
Yes.
Okay, it's 2:05. Amazing Grace, so people play this many different ways, so I'll just play the first little bit to give you a feel for it. It was more like my mother would have liked it, so perhaps your mother's. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Many dangers, toils, and snares I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've numberless days to sing God's praise. And when we first believed.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you. Okay, and we are going to have our story for all ages.
What is the story?
The story is, one is a feast for mouse. Yes. So Margaret will bring the kids up and we watched, I watched the YouTube version of it. And like one of those old throwback to the cartoons, you know?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, good.
little mouse that cleans off the table and tries to eat more than he can, yeah.
It's a good lesson for this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Bob. Morning, guys. Morning.
Are we using the mic?
Thank you.
Sorry? Yeah, we can. I've got this one.
Oh, okay.
I just figured since there is such a small group, we didn't. True enough. It doesn't make sense just for the recording. There's no one online. I think we can go without it for today. Are
Yeah,
you
okay.
okay with that, actually?
Yep,
Okay.
that works.
Great.
All right, today our story is called One is a Feast for Mouse. After Thanksgiving dinner, Mouse crept out of his hidey hole and looked around. The house was quiet. Dad snoozed in his chair with his book. Mom dozed in front of the TV. Outside, the kids played football in the crisp yellow leaves. Cat curled up by the fire. He yawned and stretched his stripy tail. Then he closed his greeny eyes and went to sleep. Mouse scampered up the tablecloth. Thanksgiving leftovers were still on the table. So much to eat. Mouse saw a teensy-tiny, toothsome green pea all by itself under a plate. Give thanks, he thought. One will be a feast for me. Mouse rolled the pea across the tablecloth to take it back to his little hidey hole. But his eyes were bigger than his stomach. He saw 6 leftover cranberries, growing like rubies on a silver saucer. I'll take just one, he thought to himself. One is a feast for me. He balanced one cranberry on top of the pea and started once again across the table to his hidey hole. Just then he saw 3 olives, black and shiny, in a dish. I'll take just one, he thought. One is a feast for me. He put the olive on top of the cranberry on top of the pea and carried the tidbits across the table. Then he saw the carrot sticks, crunchy and munchy and orange. I'll take just one, he thought. One is a feast for me. He stuck one carrot stick into the hole in the olive, balanced both on top of the cranberry on top of the pea, and started back to his hidey hole. Just then he saw the mashed potatoes. Mouse potatoes. There was just one scoop left on the plate. I'll take the plate, Mouse thought. What a feast I will have. He balanced the plate of potatoes on top of the carrot stick in the hole in the olive on top of the cranberry on top of the pea. Mouse started off across the table. Then he saw the gravy, brown and luscious in the silver gravy boat. Gravy for the mouse potatoes, he thought. I must have that for my feast. And he balanced the gravy boat on top of the mashed potatoes on top of the carrot stick, stuck in the olive on top of the cranberry on top of the pea. And he started off. But then he spotted the pumpkin pie. One slice of pie, brown and dimpled, with a collar of fluffy cream. So he balanced the pie on top of the gravy boat, on top of the mashed potatoes, on top of the carrot stick, stuck in the hole of the olive, on top of the cranberry, on top of the pea, and he started off across the table. The pie slid, but Mouse grabbed it just in time. Mouse bobbled and bobbled across the tablecloth on the way to his hidey hole for his Thanksgiving feast. He didn't see Cat keep creeping closer and closer. But Mouse saw the turkey, brown and juicy, surrounded with parsley. Much was gone, but there was just enough left for a mouse feast, or even 2. I'll just add that, thought Mouse, and he carefully placed the turkey platter on the very top of the pile. On top of the pie, on top of the gravy, on top of the mashed potatoes, on top of the carrot stick stuck in the hole of the olive, on top of the cranberry, on top of the pea. I guess so. It could be a lot of food. He started off across the table to his hidey hole, and there, at the table's edge, he met Cat, greedy-eyed and hungry, clawing up the table on the tablecloth. Mouse skidded to a stop. The turkey wibbled and wobbled, slid and slipped. Mouse danced to keep his feast balanced, pirouetted like a ballerina, juggled like a plate spinner. But off slid the turkey, whoosh, with a plop, landing smack on Cat. Down crashed the pumpkin pie and the boat with the gravy. Down crashed the mashed potatoes with a clatter that woke Mom. Down fell the carrot stick, still impaled in the olive. Down went the cranberry, which rolled, leaving a red track across the tablecloth. Down went the pea, all catterwampus off the table, rolling all into the floor. Off scampered Mouse, quick as a bandit, back to his hidey hole, ahead of Cat. He huddled in his hidey hole. His heart pitter-pattered. He peered out. Down came the broom on the stripy, greeny-eyed Cat. Bad kitty, shouted Mom. Outside, and she swept the cat out the door. Mouse looked around, whiskers trembling with fright. No Thanksgiving feast for me, he thought. Just then, he spotted glowing in the corner one teeny tiny, round and toothsome, green and luscious pea. Give thanks. One is a feast for me. The end.
Go now in peace, go now in peace, may the love of all surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
So Mark and I had thought about our presentation today, and we thought maybe join in whenever I stumble. But we talked about maybe opening the floor to sharing about Thanksgiving and about what it means to us individually and as a community and collectively and globally. And just open the floor to see where folks are at and how they want to share, and Mark and I will facilitate the conversation. And we thought But before we start, we might watch a little video clip of Jane Goodall, an interview that she did not long ago before she passed away. And it's maybe has some resonance to kind of where we're at in this day and age.
Let me just get rid of this really quickly.
Of Musk's space. Do you have people that you don't like? Absolutely, there are people I don't like. And I would like to put them on one of Musk's spaceships and send them all off to the planet he's sure he's going to discover. Would he be one of them? Oh, absolutely. He'd be the host. And you can imagine who I'd put on that spaceship. Who? Along with Musk would be Trump and some of Trump's real supporters. And then I would put Putin in there. And I would put President Xi. I'd certainly put Netanyahu in there and his far-right government. Put them all on that spaceship and send them off. In the place where I am now, I look back over my life. I look back at the world I've left behind. What message do I want to leave? I want to make sure that you all understand that each and every one of you has a role to play. You may not know it, you may not find it, but your life matters, and you are here for a reason. And I just hope that that reason will become apparent as you live through your life. I want you to know that whether or not you find that role that you're supposed to play, your life does matter, and that every single day you live, you make a difference in the world. And you get to choose the difference that you make. I want you to understand that we are part of the natural world. And even today, where the planet is dark, there still is hope. Don't lose hope. If you lose hope, you become apathetic and do nothing. Above all, I want you to think about the fact that we are part, when we're on planet Earth, we are part of Mother Nature. We depend on Mother Nature for clean air, for water, for food, for clothing, for everything. And as we destroy one ecosystem after another, as we create worse climate change, worse loss of diversity, we have to do everything in our power to make the world a better place for the children alive today and for those that will follow. You have it in your power to make a difference. Don't give up. There is a future for you. Do your best while you're still on this beautiful planet Earth that I look down upon from where I am now. Do you have people that you...
Thank you. It was powerful, eh? So we didn't want to kind of control the conversation too much. Wanted to open the floor, and anybody would like to get us started, by all means? Yeah.
I think that was marvelous to listen to. Oh, sure.
Or should we get in a circle, or you have?
No, it's okay, it's okay.
All right, I'm good, that's fine.
Yeah. This hope thing. Yeah. It's really, so I guess my only word of wisdom is it doesn't have to be anything big. And I highly recommend a good starting point is if you haven't done a random act of kindness, do it. That will inspire amazing things. Truly, I know it seems silly and it seems dumb, but the small things always add up to the big things. And that's what, on my dark days, that's what keeps me going.
Thank you.
I would like to thank Anki for bringing that Jane Goodall video here. No, I would. It actually got a lump in my throat. She's absolutely right, and we need to hear inspiring words from someone that walks the talk, not just any old person. I mean, she has, had such adversity, and she just kept plugging away and plugging away. So then, it's like Martin Luther King or someone, people that have been really, I'm trying to say this without swearing, which is difficult for me. People that have had poo-poo on them, really, that rise again and just keep fighting and fighting. We have to look at their example and go, well, I can do my little tiny bit. Anyway, moving on.
I am very grateful to have peace in what do I do?
Oh, did it turn off? Okay. Jeez. Grateful for batteries too.
We just want you to feel useful.
Yeah, it just died on us.
We'll have
We'll have to perk up our list.
I think we could probably hear you. I wouldn't probably hear you, but I just also wanted to be mindful, we'll keep an eye on the folks on Zoom too who want to join in.
Maureen, tell us if you can hear us,
Can you
okay?
hear us,
Right here, Anki.
I can hear you loud and clear. Yep, it's good.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to give thanks that finally there is peace in between Israel and Gaza. Those people, they really the Gaza people, they really deserve to have some sovereignty, some really their own country, and not being backed by the Israelis. Thank you for that.
Sure. Anybody else would like to? I just wanted to pick up on something you said, which is that it's those small acts that sometimes we don't see. And really that's what the universe is, a quantum universe, where we actually are comprised of things we don't see. And yet they determine our reality, so I think it's a good point, it's a good metaphor too, that those little acts that we do that go unnoticed on a larger scale, maybe they do release an energy that moves things.
I think they also can release an energy within yourself. I remember years and years and years ago being in San Francisco, and where we were staying, they had free apples. And so I just loaded my backpack up with apples, and because I like them, but also then there was a woman with a child that was in front of the drugstore down the hill. I remember this, and honestly, this was years ago. And I pulled out a couple of apples from my backpack and said, "Would you like these?" Because she was begging. And she went, "Oh, an apple, thank you so much." And it just tore me apart, that this woman and her child, that an apple was so precious to her. And it just really gave me a kick in the butt to go, Nora, this is important, what you're doing for this person was huge, and an apple. So it just, crystallized down how fortunate I am, and, and she was genuine, like she was like really so appreciative. And it really shook me actually.
I find what Nora says, that something that seems so something like nothing to us, such a big value for us. I really think that most of us hear about people being poor in the Gaza Strip, or people who lost everything in Ukraine. Like, how many years are they now living under that terrible threat? Anywhere in the world, and we hear it and think, oh, that's too bad. People don't have water, they don't have food. But I don't think we realize enough how good we have it. We don't have fear, we're not hungry. Like, that's, think people don't think about that enough. They think too much about how am I gonna get the turkey and the ham at the same time on the table, right? But yeah, that's just the world we live in right now, I guess.
It's good to have gratitude because, you know, everybody's got their own, whether small or large, things they have to cope with, right? You know, and then remembering that there's people that have it so much worse off than you do is good for gratitude, and I can't help but think that how do those people that live such abject lives manage to survive any day, and how and what do they have to be grateful for? Because, you know, in order to hope, you have to, you know, be grateful for something. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I have so many like disparate thoughts going through my head, but I am definitely also grateful to live here in peace and prosperity. But I'm very prone to like falling into a pit of despair about Gaza, about climate change. Pick your poison. I will find a reason to ruminate unhealthily on it. But I find that the best way to overcome the despair is to just really be intentional in, small acts of kindness, or even just small acts of solidarity. And it's interesting to do these kinds of things in front of children whom you're supposed to be like shaping morally. So we talk on a weekly basis with a group that's doing fundraising for Gazan families at the farmers market. They sell hummus and other dips and dates and olive oil and other like Middle Eastern delicacy types of foods. And my kids talk to them every week, and they learn all about the issues, the impact on these families that this group is trying to support. The fact that, like a couple months ago, he said a loaf of bread is $350 US. Crazy, just crazy, unimaginable stuff. So then you wonder why there's a famine, right? So it's nice to see my kids internalizing this and always reminding me and shaming me every time I support. They're vehemently in support of the divestment from the Israeli economy. So I'm not allowed to get Starbucks anymore. Not allowed to buy Dove products or get Tim Hortons. So I have been a great, they're policing me badly, and I am staying in line because they're scary.
That's fantastic.
I know, they're keeping me in line, and so it's like really heartwarming to know that even these tiny things, making more ethical purchases, talking to people who are doing work on the ground, giving our money to these causes, it really helps to keep I don't fall down the pit of despair so much. For some reason, it just helps to know that me, plus all the other people buying that hummus at all the other farmers markets, are contributing towards helping one particular family at least get a bit more financial stability in an otherwise very unstable life. But I miss my Starbucks.
Yeah.
A little point on the Starbucks. I saw something on I saw something on Instagram, I think it was, that something like 400 Starbucks shops were closing in the US like recently. So I mean, it works, right? Like it does work when you like speak with your dollars.
So I hate to admit my naivety, but what's up with Starbucks?
You'll have to ask that little girl in the black skirt, but
Okay.
No, that's great, let's do that.
Okay.
We will ask.
I'll just tell you at a high level, does someone else know better? It's the divestment and something.
Boycott.
The boycotting and divesting from Israeli apartheid movement.
So
And
by
how is
Starbucks.
Starbucks
So
connected?
Starbucks, I don't know.
I think
Oh.
They would,
support, don't they support the IDF, like the Israeli defense? Like, I think they're big supporters, as is Indigo Books, like they're
Yes.
supporters of,
And Home Depot.
of the army in Israel, and
So
they're,
to say.
you know.
so they either give,
Well, all,
yes,
all those corporations are all under the same
Yeah.
corporate umbrella, right? They're all owned by the same entity, so, and it's the, you know, the military complex, a handful. Yeah.
Big corporations.
Big,
They.
big financial corporations own all these interests and ultimately,
they're somehow enmeshed financially in either the Israel IDF or they are supportive of like they give money to pro-Israeli groups in the States and that kind of thing.
Okay, well,
Financially.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Good to know. I don't go to Starbucks anyway, but.
You know, there was a point you made that resonates with me when you said that you have an inclination toward sort of dark thoughts during, which is understandable, you know, in the times we're living in. And I was talking to a friend recently and he said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "Good." And it was surprisingly, you know, because I have a tendency to go through the Rolodex of my mind and find something from there's something I can obsess about. You know? Like to give myself permission to say, I'm okay, you know, I'm okay today. And gratitude, you know, this idea that gratitude is more than just, you know, I'm grateful for my blessings. It's about a way to perceive my life, you know. And it keeps me, like Jane was talking about hope, you know, about this thing called hope. And what is that? You know, what is hope for me? How does it manifest, you know, and how does it feel to be hopeful, you know, and that kind of stuff. And one of the things I really love about Jane Goodall is she came from outside sort of the discipline. Like she did her work with primates and then she went to university. And when she went to university, they said, "You've done this all wrong," because you came at it from a different perspective. And she showed that actually compassion for primates actually opened our perceptions of these animals, you know, because it let go of our prejudices. So sometimes if we confine ourselves to the way things have been, we don't see, well, there is another perspective to look at. You know? So yeah, that kind of resonated with me. Thank you.
Yeah, I love the idea of gratitude, and I think it's a very powerful one. That it's a basic human need, kind of beyond politics and all this stuff. So that's I tend to kind of depoliticize the whole idea of gratitude, make it about just human interaction rather than and interaction with the natural world, and so there's many aspects to gratitude. I find just sitting in the backyard, appreciating you can sit here and perceive the world and you benefit from all this stuff, you know, the birds and the trees and the soil and so on. And so that gives me more comfort really than anything that's politicized, because I mean, I'm as political as the next person, or perhaps more so, but I find that politics is a divisive thing in society too, so it prevents you from talking to people who don't have exactly the same views as you, and I find that, you know, dehumanizing, right? I mean, finding ways to speak with people who have different opinions, it's a challenge, right? But I think that is kind of one of the points of being human, is trying to relate to people who you disagree with, right? And finding ways to do that. It's way easier said than done, of course, but that to me is more kind of consistent with the feeling behind gratitude like that. It's about interaction with humans and the natural world to me. So that's what I'd like to focus on, especially on a Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well said.
I agree with you, Paul, about difficult to speak, have good conversations with people that are politically opposed, are right-wing, politically different from you. My oldest friend from kindergarten, who I get together with every Thanksgiving, amongst other times, so we're actually going up to the cottage this afternoon. And she's conservative. She's a businesswoman, she's conservative, and she is a lovely, kind person that I've known since she was 5 years old. And I disagree with tons of things that she agrees with, but I love her. And that's really important for me to keep in my mind, that she's a good person and her views are different, because when I meet somebody new and their views are different, I just go and walk, and I go, no, they could be cynical. She's a good person, and this is, what she believes. She's not out there killing people. I mean, that, I'm sorry, but I could not go for. Like somebody that is no, but I'm just saying, she's not evil. Like her views are different from mine, radically different from mine. And we do have to stay away from political conversations, because, we both just heat right up. But, but even though we heat both up, we're not gonna sever this relationship. This relationship is really important for both of us. And we can have an hour and a half talk on the phone from Lake Louise to Eden Mills. And I'll just try and steer the conversation to something else. But it's just in the back of my mind, just because their opinions are different, and I really try and circle it back to her. They can still be cynical, Anyway, that's it.
I've seen you, I don't know your names.
Nora.
Can I have Nora and
Ed.
Oh, Ed.
Ed, yeah, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
I should have my name tag.
Yeah,
So should I,
Yeah,
so there you
anyway,
go.
what we really should, you're right.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
thank you. Oh, well, yeah, I just wanted to, what Paul said and what you said, Nora, really reminded, it just popped into my head something from, I think it was Barack Obama's memoir about being a politician. And I remember, I'm an academic, and so when he came on the scene, he seemed like kind of academic-y, like he was a professor vibe. And so I was kind of surprised that he was also, he really had strong politician game. And one thing he said in his memoir was about overcoming the labeling that we often do. And he said in his business, in politics, it's actually encouraged. I mean, you've got these little demographic categories, and we used to talk about soccer moms, and there were all these ways of categorizing people and labeling them. And he said he realized early on, and I think what you said really brings it out, that you can meet somebody, and based on the way they dress, carry themselves, you can stereotypes start kicking in. And we're quick to apply these labels, but what he said was, well, when you talk to people, you get behind their surface, like you could meet a rich business person, and I think this was the example he gave, like somebody who had conservative views, or was very business oriented, but they had a very hard upbringing, and they could have a story that is very different from what you would think just on the basis of meeting them and engaging superficially. And he credited, he credited some of his ability to talk to people in different backgrounds with this kind of keeping the labels in the background and just talking to people about their story, their concerns, where they came from. Even if they have, still there will be differences, but you can understand people better by getting behind those initial reactions that we all have. So I mean, what Paul said and what you said, I think really bring that out. And I guess it connects to gratitude, small, that's a way of, respecting someone, giving something to them, hearing more about their story and not jumping to conclusions about them.
That would fall into the small act of kindness category.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Be kind enough to accept that not everybody has the same opinion, and just because their opinion's different, it doesn't make them bad people, right?
And that's a kindness and a respect to that.
It is.
Diane's trying to jump in.
Where they're at.
I'm just sitting back here looking at you and admiring this picture that was a small act of kindness that happens to be a very big picture of somebody who was here a year ago, that we'd invited to talk and listen in the neighborhood. And it fits us so beautifully, and we just look like these really nicely backed discussion people. It's wonderful. And it's a gift from the neighborhood, so it's in the interweb.
I was looking at it. It is new. I was wondering if I just didn't notice it before, but yeah.
Sorry, what's new?
There's a painting.
I like how the small person is so small.
I'm sorry to interject, Maureen online has something to say.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course.
We wanna make sure we're including them as well.
Yeah.
Hi there, thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to say I really love what Paul said, and it resonates very deeply. And it's something I aspire to, but I'm maybe not quite as successful as Paul with mine. And I lean a little more towards Jane Goodall's spaceship fantasy, and I'd add a few people from our conservative party here without naming names. But it's I think where I struggle is when human rights or animal rights or even environmental rights are affected. And that's where I feel that tear. And so I love our principles and I try to live by those principles. And those are the times, those are the sticky points that I find most challenging, because the politics is hard sometimes not to also make personal. And I think on this particular weekend, on Thanksgiving, when I'm reminded of its colonialism, the roots of Thanksgiving, that's sort of the elephant in the room that I'm thinking of too, is what I'm thinking is for this weekend for myself, it's like I'm thinking, what can I do to mindfully just think of the things that are listed, for reconciliation and things like that. So I want to honor the first people of this land and the land itself and the animals and the spirit in which people used to live on this land, which wasn't exploitation based. And that's really important to me. So I give thanks for the fact that for at least now in Canada, we're living in a peaceful spot. And like everyone else, my heart is just so torn up over what's happening in Gaza, like Palestinians. My heart, it's just so hard to fathom all that's happening in the world and how genocide is going unchecked in places on the planet right now, and even supported. And like, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. We haven't had the pleasure of meeting, but the woman who spoke about divesting, not having Starbucks, stuff like that. I'm trying to make similar, trying to take similar steps. And we can learn so much from our kids. And when they can look at stuff and thinking, that's fair, that's not fair, that kind of approach to life, it's a really good reminder for us as adults with little caring hearts that are like, how could this happen? And I think, how can we not let the kids down? What are the things we can do in our lives to not let the kids down, to create the world that's more fair, that's more kind, that's more humane, that will ensure that they've got a beautiful world to live in, like we were lucky enough to grow up in? And so those are some of the things I'm reflecting on this Thanksgiving. And as far as little acts of kindness, I also want to give a shout out to Anka for the beautiful farm fresh eggs she delivered today. And it's amazing. My PSW was here and I didn't get to see you, Anka, but it was just knowing you were there. Like, I don't even know, like, my spirits were, I was in a good mood today. Our son's home for the long weekend, and And just my heart just lifted even some more. And Rosie's excitement hearing your voice at the door, it was just really beautiful. And so thank you for that act of kindness today. And just seeing this community, I feel incredibly grateful for that. So I try to root my Thanksgiving these days in gratitude for all that we do have individually and as a community. And also gratitude for the hope to continue. Jane Goodall happens to be my hero. And I don't have many of those in life. And I absolutely love, very rarely, I had the pleasure of meeting her years ago, but very rarely in life do you come across someone who's both gentle and fierce. And she's fiercely gentle in her approach and her education and her learning and her encouraging us to create a better world for all the life on this planet. And I share her frustration in trying to work with people whose views are so narrow while their behavior is so destructive. And the spaceship fantasy makes a lot of sense to me. But then, I do feel bad for the stars or anything else out there affected by them too. I shouldn't say that, but I just it's hard sometimes. Like I'm trying to figure out ways we can connect, because unless we can build bridges and really deeply feel the interconnection we have with each other in this planet, then it's hard to keep the hope. But when we can do that, like Paul said, is trying to go below that to that deeper part, that place that we are connected outside of opinions and sometimes even behaviors, but that deeper calm place that's just life itself, that place that's more observing than judging. I think that's sort of the key to for myself at least, what I found in life, to the bridge building. And I'm working on that too. And I have a conservative friend who I found out was really conservative after. And I, like Nora's friend, know her as a caring and kind person. And I'm grappling with how a lot of the things she believes in now go against, even as a woman married to another woman who's also a Black woman, and the people she's supporting. It's very hard, but I'm working hard on that, and I give thanks for the opportunity to be alive to continue that work. And anyways, I'm noticing the time, so I will wrap up for that. But thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you, Maureen. That was beautifully said. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. I guess we will have to move on.
Maybe I can just.
Yeah, you bet.
Make all this conversation stimulates me to think that point about more than one thing can be true at the same time. Like we talked about, and Barack Obama, he expresses this pretty well. Like the labels explain a lot of the world, right, to us, but it's an illusion, right? There's more going on there. That human interaction with individuals is also true, right? So they can both be true at the same time. So politics is true, but it's not true. So the world is complicated, right?
Yeah, the complexity of that, yeah, well
Very
said.
complicated. I struggle a lot with the black and white. It's so easy to go black and white, but then I have to remember that the evil of what's happening in Gaza is like Mr. Netanyahu, who for a long time has made sure that Hamas got money to survive.
Yes.
This is known, because it's the only way that Gaza will be recognized as a state. So he's so against that. So it's and like Gaza, it's the evil of Hamas. Like what they did on October 11, that was just distinctly evil too. So I have to keep very clear what the Israeli Defense League, there's nothing wrong with them. There's many Arab countries who still in their thing, they get rid of Israel. They're trying to change that, but it's just so not. I have to be very careful with that. It's like sometimes Polyev drives me crazy, but I have to remember he's got kids and he wants to leave them a better world. So although he is very black and white about him, I have to keep myself, get the gray areas in, and then I can get up and go about my day a little bit.
Thanks everybody.
It's the human condition. You ran it across that little Yeah, I don't, been around.
Yeah, thanks again on behalf of Mark and the whole congregation. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for participating.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, so let us have another piece of music.
Okay.
So this is number 16 in the gray book. It's an old tune. I think many of you, but I'll play a little bit of it to start off, so you get the feel for it. It's a gift to be free. It's a gift to come down where we ought to be. When we find ourselves, it's just right. In the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is vain, we bow and we'll bend. We shan't be ashamed to turn. We are divine. Turning will come
Closing words on.
Oh, no, I left it open for you in case you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but maybe.
Okay. Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Close it.
Okay.
I guess not Paul.
Okay, so Mark will has some closing words to.
Some closing words, and then we have announcements after.
Yeah.
After that. Well, my closing words are thank you very much for coming. It was great to see you, and it was a great discussion we had. Thanks everybody who contributed, and yeah, I'll leave it at that as my closing words. Thank you. That's gratitude.
Well said. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you to you, Brian, and Paul, and Ash. And
That's Ash in there, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I thought you were at.
That's all good, Mike. That's okay.
What's
This is
Liam.
Liam.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not our names, don't worry.
Sorry.
Also, we should all be wearing name
Just-
tags.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shall
Okay.
we
Thanks very much.
Shall we extinguish the shifted chalice?
Yeah.
Yeah, ours, oh yeah, we'll exterminate the extinguisher. Let me rewrite it.
Go exterminate. Something else to be grateful for, it is still going.
Hey.
We gathered to light its shadows.
We are the flame lit within us,
Inspire the community.